In our last meeting, we spoke about the beginner's mind. How do we cultivate that freshness where we can have a new experience of life and not simply another set of explanations for how the universe works? Oh, I'm so tired of those long explanations of what the nature of reality is. If I hear another conversation about quantum physics, I'm going to get sick. And I love quantum physics. I think it's extraordinary. But all of the explanations tend to keep us from the direct experience of the mystery of creation. And now that we're stepping into a new cycle of the sun, into a new year, we want to bring that beginner's mind with us, that mystery that we're facing that is inexplicable, that is awesome, that keeps us in a place of equal amounts of awe and terror at the extraordinary beauty and magnificence of it all. I was sitting with a group of medicine men and women in the Andes a few years ago and telling them about quantum physics and quantum mechanics, and they were listening enraptured. They said, extraordinary, this is what science is about. And I was telling them about this butterfly effect, what we call the butterfly effect, that is the butterfly that flapped its wings in Beijing that caused a tropical storm in the Caribbean. Amazing how we can influence these distant events. We don't know truly what the cause of things are ultimately. Maybe it can be a lifetime that we had 2,000 years ago, that ripple of wind on the edge of a butterfly's wing that determined who we incarnated as today. And they were fascinated by this. And then one of the old women says to me, "Well, show me, Alberto." And I go, "What do you mean show you? This is quantum physics. I'm telling you about it." And she said to me, No. Come on, flap your little doctor wings. I had a brand new PhD at that time. Flap your little doctor wings and heal somebody in India. And I said, "I can't do that." She said, "I can." So for the shamans, theories and explanations detract from the mystery. They mimic but prevent us from having a direct experience of the miraculous. So there are these things that can be known but not told. They can be known, but they cannot be explained. They can be experienced, but they cannot be operated on and dissected. So this is the essence of the shaman's mystery, is that if we are able to step into the mystery of the new, to confuse even ourselves. I love what one of the great poets said when he mentioned that I contradict myself because I am vast. And this is one of the greatest dangers in the shaman's path, is that you begin to explain away who you are, whether it be the product of your childhood or your upbringing or the fact that your mother didn't breastfeed you, or that your parents divorced, or that the minute that you begin to explain the mystery of who you are, you're falling into the trap of disempowerment. You must become that mystery that is unexplainable, where you wake up one morning and you look at yourself in the mirror and you go, "I don't know who you are today, but I'm going to brush your teeth anyway." You become a mystery even to yourself. You wake up and it's a surprise to discover who you are in that moment, and that be who you are in relationship with the situation you're in. It's a process of discovery, because otherwise you begin to become an iteration of yourself. You begin to become a photocopy of who you were yesterday and who you were the day before, informed only by your past. And when that happens to us as shamans, we know that we have fallen into the grip of fate. And fate is fatal, it's deadly. Fate is preordained. It's preordained by the beliefs that you have about who you are that become self-fulfilling prophecies. It's preordained by your genetics, or preordained by the stories that run in your family about the drama and the trauma and what grandmother was abandoned. She could never find love and she died with a broken heart. And that's the fate, of course, that waits all the women in your family. Please, of course, this is true. This does work that way because of the very fluid nature of reality, that whatever set of beliefs you hold about the nature of reality, you hold deeply about the nature of reality, the universe will inevitably prove you right. Even if it's a destructive prophecy about losing everything and losing your health, or dementia running in your family, or the women in your family having breast conditions, or heart disease running in your father's side of the family. These are the self-fulfilling prophecies that steal the future from us because they preordain the events that will happen in your life. They make you fall into the grip of fate. And to recover our destiny, we have to recover our soul. We have to recover that aspect of ourselves that we lost along the way. That innocence that we lost when we thought we had figured the world out. That beginner's mind, that naivete, that ability to be an amateur. That's one of my favorite words in the English language, and it comes from the French. The amateur is a lover, the lover, approaching life like a lover, like an amateur, like a beginner, being surprised and being awed and discovering things as if for the first time. And then we can begin to recover that part of our soul that had to flee because the world became too predictable. It became too dry and inhospitable and shriveled up and explained away by science. And in doing so, of course, science replaced religion. The new religion today is the religion of science. Is it proven by science? Has it been demonstrated? Do we have the studies that show for it? I was reading recently about an article written by the editors of the British Medical Journal and the editor of the American Medical Association Journal, the JAMA Journal, and the BMA. And they were calling it Medicine's 5 Sigma. And 5 Sigma means the level of reliability and validity of the studies that they publish. And they were jointly saying, and these are medical doctors and PhDs, that 50% of the articles published in the medical association journals are fraudulent, they're bad science, too small samples, authors cherry-picking the data to support their hypotheses. They're bogus. And the problem is that they don't know which 50% it is. Can you imagine building a medical science where you don't know which 50% of the articles you're quoting and using to medicate and to heal people are fake? Extraordinary. But of course, this is the new religion of science. And the shaman's quest, the shaman's science, is one of self-discovery, you discovering for yourself what heals your body, what makes your body feel well, what heals your mind and your mood, what heals and repairs your heart, what allows you to love freshly and newly, not just what prevents you from loving freshly and newly, which is, of course, all the history of heartbreak that we've had. And like we love to hear the old adage that says that you can either have what you want, or you can have the reasons why you can't. You can have the love you want, or you can have the whole list of reasons why your upbringing, your childhood, your ex keep you from experiencing the love you truly want. So what we want to do at the beginning of the year, and I want to invite you to join me in, is a fire ceremony. As you know, our tradition is a fire tradition. It's a tantric tradition of transforming energies very quickly. And our fire ceremony is our key ceremony of our school of shamanism. So remember that we learned how to use fire 800,000 years ago. But we only learned how to make fire 300,000 years ago. For 500,000 years, we sat around the fire not knowing how to make it. And the keeper of the fire, in India, they call him Agni Das, the keeper of the flames. The keeper of the temple fires or of the village fires was the most important person in the village, because if you lost the fire, if you lost the embers, and these were hunter-gatherers, these were people that traveled with fire in their belt pouches, with embers that they could blow upon and put a little bit of down to it or a little bit of bark, and it would come back again. And that these were the men and women that became the shamans. And our ceremony today is the ceremony of the fire, where we release to the fire everything that we're ready to let go of, everything that has died within us, and everything that we're ready to allow to die within us, everything that needs to be shed and to be let go of. And today, in the moment in history that we're living, in the middle of an extinction event, where so many species are being lost, where there have been 5 previous extinction events in the planet, the last one before this one, 65 million years ago. And today more species are disappearing because of climate crisis than in any of the other species events. Mostly the little species, the insects, the bugs, some of the birds that are becoming extinct so rapidly. At these times, we have to shed everything that has made us the kind of human that have become predators on the earth. We need to shed it collectively, but the only way to do that is personally. So I want to invite you to blow into your stick everything that you have learned about your role in this world, about your mission, about your journey in this life, and how you maybe have the right to take whatever you need from nature without giving back. So I want you to place in the fire those values of humanity that have made us the worst predator in human history. And if we can release this to the fire now at the beginning of the year, we can develop a symbiotic relationship. We become the caretakers and the stewards of all life on earth, the caretakers of all sentient beings, of all living beings in this beautiful planet that has been offered to us as caretakers of the earth. Fascinating that we have the only mythology in the world, the Western mythology, where we were cast out of the garden, where we were banished from the Garden of Eden. Nobody else was kicked out of the garden. The Native Americans weren't, the Sub-Saharan Africans, the Indonesians, the Australians. They were given the garden to be the caretakers of the garden, the stewards, the gardeners, the keepers of the sacred garden. We can return to that today as keepers of the sacred earth and the sacred life that's being offered to us newly in this great cycle of the sun. So let's put into that stick everything that we need to release at a personal level, because this is being stripped away from us by circumstance, by the earth, by the immune system of the planet that responds to parasites by eliminating them, so that we can recover our health, so we can have a beautiful journey through this year, we can protect our loved ones, and we can experience ourselves as the stewards, as the caretakers of the earth. And now we place that into the fire, releasing in the fire all that has kept us bound to a set of beliefs that are toxic, that are destroying the planet and destroying humanity, that are causing so much suffering around the world. we release and we let go. And I want to invite you very carefully to bring that flame to any of your energy centers, any of your chakras that you need to cleanse and clear. And then to pass your hand through the fire. And bring that fire to your heart, to your moon eye, to the place of love, to your forehead, to your wisdom center, that this center awaken and be open, and to your belly, to your sacred womb. This is the womb that men and women have, the place of creation, where we manifest our dreams in the world. As we begin this new cycle of the sun, this is going to be an extraordinary year, extraordinarily challenging, extraordinarily beautiful, full of extraordinary opportunities and possibilities, and a year that we can be hopeful that we can become the new human that the medicine men and women from around the earth have been seeing in their prophecies as arriving in the planet now, today, and that are you and I. Thank you for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you soon.